How's it going, financial coaches? It's Pete here. I am, well, I wanted to talk to you about what we're going to do in this new year here, because if you are in the business of building your business, I think I have an idea. And this is an experiment. It's a great experiment. I mean, I'm not saying it's a good experiment. I'm saying it's a great experiment in that it's going to be a big experiment, and hopefully you will join me for it. I want to invite a few of you to connect with me. And basically, here's the genesis of why I came up with this experiment. Over the last year, I have had a few projects that I've been working on. And I call them projects because they are pretty big. They are all in the works. And I probably have, to be honest, 8 or 9 months under my belt on several of these projects. And they're not done. A couple of them are very close. But one of the issues is that I was thinking about it, is reflecting back, and I was like, man, 8, 9 months? If you had asked me 8 months ago when I'd be done with these projects, I'd say, oh, by the end of the year. And here it is after the end of last year, and I'm not quite done with them. Like I said, getting close, but not quite done with them. And I would have thought 8 months would be fine. And things come up, and what happens is that, we hear the idea that it's a marathon, not a sprint. And so we kind of pace ourselves. We kind of find a work-life balance. Those are all wonderful things. But what can also happen is that the pace sometimes becomes slower than we want. And sometimes when we look back, we're amazed at how much time has passed and maybe how little has been accomplished. And I don't want that to happen to you. I want you to say, hey, if I'm going to build my coaching business over the next 6 months or the next year, whatever it might be, or the next 30 days, it doesn't really matter to me, that you have something to show for that time period, as opposed to getting to the 6 month mark and saying, man, I really haven't gotten more than a couple weeks of work done. And so one of the things that I was thinking about here is kind of borrowing a lesson from the technology industry and what they call like a code sprint. Now, this can happen in any industry, but it's a dedicated period of time where everyone works on developing, in this case, code for their product. Now, I want to do a little sprint because I think for me in the past, things that have really helped is to come together with a small group of people and kind of plow through some educational materials. I think that's why people like symposiums and conferences. It's just all kind of compressed. Your time is captive. And so you get a lot done. They yield a lot of benefit for a lot of people. And so I wanted to do that. And I have put on my calendar a week where I am dedicated to nothing but the financial coaching side of things. And that week is going to be January 25th. Now, if you have that week available, and this is not an 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. type of commitment, but it is a little bit of a longer commitment in that my guess is that you will need a few hours a day dedicated to this. Now, if you're saying, oh, a few hours a day because this is a side hustle, I can't do that. I have a full-time job. I get that. But if this is what you are expecting to do full-time, then my guess is to have 10, 15 hours that week dedicated to it should be a no-brainer. Theoretically, if you're putting 40 hours a week full-time towards something, then 10 hours is just a sliver of that. And if you are a go-get-em, hustle, good work ethic entrepreneur, you may be putting in 50 or 60 hours a week. And so 10 hours towards this is probably no big deal. And so if that's you, if you're someone that says, hey, I really want this to be either my full-time business or even a sizable business to generate some meaningful revenue to me, then I think 1 week, 10, 15 hours, depending on how much time you want to put into it, shouldn't be a big ask. And I'm going to say that what we will do here is it'll be 5 days. There are going to be 4 projects to get you up and running. Now, each of those projects will require, I'm going to say, at least 30 minutes. Some might require a couple hours, but I would say each project is 30 minutes. If you have kind of started to build your business already, then you might be on the shorter end of the time need on this. But if you are brand new, you've been sitting on your hands on this, you've been thinking about it, then I would say, take your time, take the time you need. But I'm not going to babysit you. It's going to be all up to you, although we will be checking in to make sure everything gets done. But you'll be working mostly one-on-one with me. Now, what I want to explain here is the format. So I have figured that what I would love to do is, as a group, if we have a small little group here, we would get together over the lunch hour, noon to 1 Central Time. Now, that means it's going to be 1 Eastern Time, and it's going to be a little earlier. I didn't want to do it too early for our West Coasties. But so noon Central Time, 10 a.m. California, get together for 1 hour as a group. I would explain what we are going to do that day and walk you through exactly the steps of what I would like you to do so that you have the system set up on your end so that you can schedule people, so that you can connect with them, whatever it is, right? And so I don't want to just tell you what to do. I want to show you so that you can either do it along with me or do it after or whatever it needs to be. But I want to give you some of my tips. And then you can also, go off on your own and use some other systems or other techniques or whatever you might want to do. But if you are wondering about what I use, then you'll see it firsthand because we will set it up and go right through it. And then after that 1 hour is up, after I've kind of walked you through what I want to focus on that day, then you will have the rest of the day to go ahead and either get your site set up, your scheduler set up, work on the presentation, work on the questions that you want to ask people, whatever it is, whatever the assignment is, and you'll have the rest of the day to do that. And then on some of the cases, you and I will connect on them to go through that because it won't be a group thing because we want to just give individual feedback. On some of these assignments, it'll be sharing in the group session the following day. Like I said, this is going to be very, very short. It's only 5 days. And basically what I want out of this, out of the activities I picked here, I wanted some really basic foundational things. One, some of the information that you are going to use to gain exposure, to market yourself so that people understand what your expertise is and why they should connect with you. Two, the system to get scheduled so that people can book time on your calendar so that you can connect with them. Three, the system that you are going to use to connect with them, right? And so from there, I think those are the very basic foundational pieces because not only do you need operationally the ability to connect with people, but two, you have to have some sort of marketing engine so that people will go there, right? And so at a very, very basic level, those are the two pieces that you need. And so that's my only hope is to get both of those begun, right? To get both of those started and initialized so that now you have that foundation. So now you can build on each of those. If you want to get more elaborate in the way you bill and invoice or set up subscriptions, great. That's going to be already in place so that you can kind of build on that. And then the other piece, and I think even the more important piece, is the marketing piece. How are you making connections with people? How are you getting out there? How are you explaining what your areas of expertise are and then why people should connect with you and what they will get out of those sessions and what they can expect and the transformation that people will discover as they're doing that. So the exposure piece is the other piece. So I want to get that going for you as well. And like I said, it's not going to just be, hey, me prognosticating and here's what I do. Vaya con Dios, and you're off on your own. We'll walk through it. We'll go to the granular level if necessary, and I'm kind of planning on that so that you don't feel like you're just told that something works and then you are off on an open ocean, subject to the winds of destiny to figure out what you need to do next. All right. So we're going to build that foundation in 5 days with 4 assignments in 1 week. All right. So if you are available to meet with me on January 25th, on Monday, 26th, 27th, 28th, and 29th, 5 weekdays. That's not even a full week. It's only 5 days out of 7 days. You're going to have your whole weekend to you. But if you do that, my hope is that by the end of the day on Friday, you are going to be launching. You're going to be launching your business. Okay. So, and then from there, sky's the limit. Then we can figure out how to optimize and figure out what you've learned through that process. But I would hope that you will join me. And the best part about this is, because this is the great experiment, there's not going to be any fee to do this. I'm looking for people that are interested in investing in themselves and their business in terms of time, but not money, because I know that a lot of times we are bootstrapping this thing. It's certainly the way I started. And like I said, man, I want you to flourish with this so that you can pay it forward to the next round of people. But I tell you what, man, when I first started, the idea of having $100 to dedicate to this project was kind of big. I mean, and I'm not saying $100 now for this expense and then $100 for the next expense. I was thinking, how am I going to spend this $100 I'm allocating to this project over the next 30 days to get myself up and running between trainings and the resources and office setup and technology and all that stuff. So it's easier now than ever, and I'm hopefully looking forward to having you join me on this little journey. We'll see how it goes and iterate on the next one from here. So I'm looking forward to seeing you. If you want to join me, I'm going to put a link to a sign-up page in the description below. Please click on that, sign up for that first Zoom call, and whoever registers is in. I'll see you then.